What is going on, you guys? My name is Noah, and in this video I want to talk about why I've decided to get sober again. Thank God. And my reasons are quite simple. I am a shell of myself as a drinker relative to what I know I'm capable of being as a sober person, and more specifically a sober person working some sort of recovery program, some sort of action plan to address the fact that I have an innate ability to revolve my life around alcohol once I start drinking it. I've had a history of alcohol abuse since forever. First time I drank, I was 13. I slammed 4 beers, and I remember thinking, this is the greatest feeling I've ever had. And a long story, extremely short, I've just chased it and tried to work with it and manage it over the course of many, many years. I'm 33 now, so 20 years. Jesus, I've been drinking for 20 years. That's loco. Anyhow, I went to treatment back in February. At that time, I was drinking more than I'd ever drank before, and which I think was about 4 days a week, maybe 5. Got out of treatment. The world flipped upside down with COVID, flipped even more upside down with the political state of the world, the social, racial climate in the United States, and pressure got higher, stress got higher for everybody in one way, shape, or form. And I drank. When that whole thing started, I drank, and I don't really want to dig into that. But since then, I've been at very best, managing the fact that I always want to be drunk, while simultaneously not wanting to be drunk. It's a very weird dichotomy, but and it's just progressed and gotten worse. My finances have gotten way worse. My interpersonal skills have gotten worse. My relationships have gotten worse. My marriage has gotten worse. My functionality has gotten worse. All the things. Like when I drink the way I drink, which is now come to about 6 nights a week, which for me personally is the most nights I've ever drank in a week, basically daily, damn close. I remember thinking, like, there's no way I'll ever become a daily drinker. It was something I put my hat on. I was like, listen, I might drink alcoholically, I might binge drink, but at least I don't drink every day. And I essentially have been drinking every day, just about 6 days a week for the past month or two, at large amounts, 12 to 15 beers in a 2 or 3 hour window every night, to my detriment, and to the detriment of my marriage, and to the detriment of my business, and to the detriment of my self-esteem and my functionality. I'm not reliable, I'm not dependable, I'm not responsible. I am a very poor version of myself, and there's no denying that. It's just all very matter of fact, which is useful while being disheartening, because I would continue to drink, thus the interesting nature of alcoholism, or the physical dependence, emotional dependence I have on it, or whatever you want to say, my ability to put it before things that on paper and in my heart mean more to me. Anyway, one of the reasons in particular that I have been lucky enough to be willing to try to get sober again is that my wife, the greatest reason, I felt, as I always end up feeling when I spiral into this space, but my wife hasn't been doing well, and I've sensed that, she was going to leave soon. Very, very soon. And I wouldn't blame her. And I remember thinking, like, please, like within myself, please, either dial it back, which I've never been able to do, ever, literally never, or get sober again, or you're going to lose your wife and a lot more. And I felt that, and it was really weighing heavy on my heart. I had this feeling back in June. I was like, listen, you're going to drink your ass off and justify it via coronavirus, and also you're just someone who does this, right? But when June comes, you're going to get your act together. Well, I ended up getting my act together for like a week or two, and then drinking way more, and being like, damn. And it just got worse and worse and worse. So I thought to myself, all right, one of the things I'm going to do, which is, I was like, I'm going to take on a lot more responsibility, put a lot more things on my plate, and create a pressure vacuum to force me to behave like a responsible adult. I thought taking on these extra things were going to lead to better behavior and more adult behavior, more responsible behavior. And that's not what happened. In fact, the opposite happened. In the last month or two, I've drank even more, and been even more irresponsible, and been even more of a letdown to myself and to others. And that weighs on my heart. And there's one good thing that came of that, is that it created a bottleneck for myself and where I was going. I was either going to let my marriage completely fall apart, my business completely fall apart, everything I actually truly care about all fall apart, or I was going to get a desperate moment, a gift of desperation. And so I am grateful that did happen, because those things can be rare and fleeting. But I feel desperate and willing enough in a small window of time to say I need help again, which isn't always easy. It's not always easy to be the person who perpetually needs help, especially when you know that you can be so tremendously useful to yourself, your immediate loved ones, friends and family, and your local community, right? When you are living a better life. Me personally, when I'm living a more true life to myself, my inner truth rather. And it made it really, really hard to contend with that. It's very hard to contend with what I know I'm capable of relative to how I'm living and what I'm doing. It was weighing on me more and more, and I knew the end was coming. And so once again, I asked for help. I really came to terms with the reality that I'm now binge drinking 6 nights a week, 12 to 15 beers in rapid succession, and then sleeping in late, missing work, so to speak. I work for myself, but other people depend on me, and I have partnerships, blowing people off, blowing off everything, right? Just living a terribly destructive and very ultimately selfish lifestyle. And that weighs on my heart because I don't mean to be that way, and I certainly don't want to be that way. But intentions versus actions in reality are two very different things, or are very different things. And I haven't been living a lifestyle that I'm even remotely proud of. And it was getting harder and harder to pardon myself and just be kind and loving and accepting of yourself, because other people are being affected big time outside of just the effect I'm having on my body, my mind, and all that. Anyway, all this is to say that I got lucky enough to ask for help again, and I'm taking that help. So I called my rehab that I went to, Crestview, and found out that they do have intensive outpatient therapy 5 days a week, which is what I'm doing, 3 hours a day. I've reconnected with my sponsor, and I'm going to take another shot at this, and I do believe that is the right thing for me to do. I've got a lifetime essentially now of reasons that support this decision, and I have a lot to contend with myself. I have a lot to figure out. But I'm being given space and a little more slack from people that have been incredibly patient with me. And I'm so thankful that my wife is still holding on. I think it's basically by a thread, but I really have faith that if I can address these demons within me, if I can address this need to constantly put alcohol first, and to forego so many other things, if I can address it and get to the root of it and just not give up, I can rebuild, I can turn that thread back into a very, very thick anchoring rope for my wife and I, and that is my prayer. I put her through a lot, and this isn't really the time and place in this video to talk about that, but she's been through a lot, and she deserves a lot better. She knows that. I've always known that, which has always made it really hard and strange to behave in a way that went against that, because this is the woman I love, and I married this woman sober, and she hasn't gotten the best of me, and that's too bad. And I haven't gotten the best of me for a long time either, nor has the world. So anyway, right now, my job once more is to examine the flaws of my thinking, my character defects, examine where I've gone wrong, trust the leadership of others, and just, pray and stay diligent and stay in action. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to keep it small. I'm trying not to be overwhelmed by the notion that I perpetually fail, when I try to get sober, and that the consequences that are around the river bend, so to speak, shout out to Pocahontas, could be massively, massively painful, and that I need to take ownership over that possibility, right? I can't blame anyone. I have to take responsibility, and so I'm going to try, and I'm going to continue to talk to you guys about it, and I'm glad I have a reason to talk to you guys, because it's been impossible for me to trust my train of thinking and my intentions and my emotional stability, my spiritual well-being, however you want to put it. I haven't trusted the way my brain has been working for a minute. And in that space, I didn't feel like it was necessary, useful, or important to get on this platform, right? And just basically continue to display my personal self-destruction. You guys have seen it. Many of you, if not all of you, are over it. I don't think for the vast majority of you, it's why you come here. You don't come here to watch some guy just endlessly sabotage himself and undermine himself and then get lost, right? And I know that my addictive mind and me when I'm actively drinking, it's very different than me when I'm sober. The two guys couldn't be more different. So, all that said, I'm one lucky son of a bitch that I still have resources. I'm incredibly blessed, and I'm going to the best of my ability, not make light of them. I'm going to the best of my ability not bullshit my way through this. I was talking to my counselor this morning, and one of my biggest contentions getting sober this time is to figure out where exactly I've been full of shit, because I need to address and figure it out. So it's going to be a journey, and I do believe in myself, and I do believe that I can figure this out, provided I humble myself to this process once more. Because I could have stayed out there, right? I really could have. I don't want to overly dramatize this. I could have, but it would have been without my wife. It would have been, I think, without my evening coaching job. I think I could have settled into a nice little alcoholic, lonely, isolated lifestyle. It's very much out there and a possibility for me. I could see myself, I could see my wife divorcing me and selling our home. I can see myself isolating more and more and leaning on a little bit of supplemental income that I do have, and just sort of milking out some really sad, childlike existence, lacking responsibility, lacking any culpability for my life and any personal agency, lacking any real fulfillment, but just settling in for cheap thrills of getting wasted and celebrating nothing, I guess. I could see it. I see it right now. It's there. It's waiting for me. And in my habitual nature to seek instant pleasure at the expense of fulfillment and meaning and purpose is frightening. It's frightening, and it's real. It's frightening and it's real. So I don't need to go there, but I need to be aware that there exists, and I'd be lying to you guys if I said that I hadn't contemplated just turning in, just accepting in some way, shape, or form that I guess this is who I am. In my alcoholic or in my constantly hungover and or wasted mindset. Maybe I'm just the type of guy who lives in a little apartment somewhere, never really does much, kind of gets drunk, hangs out with people. Maybe that's who I am. And I don't truly think that's who I am, but when you're like worried about the fact that you continue to struggle over the years, and when you feel out of control and you behave insanely, which I do believe one could make a strong argument for, it's hard not to wonder if there's just something inherently wrong with you. Not to sound terminally unique or to catastrophize, but if you've been trying to get sober like I have for 14 years, and one way or another you wander back into the same exact circumstances, and then one way or another you wander back into trying to get sober, it's, there's a little room for doubt. But I have a wonderful sponsor. I was chatting with him, and luckily I have leadership and people that are willing to challenge that. And luckily, there's still hope, and people haven't given up on me, and 12 steps haven't given up on me, and there's many other avenues of recovery that are still available. And so, once again, we wipe the slate clean and try again. But boy, do I hope this sticks, because that previous lifestyle wasn't working. There's no way to deny that. It wasn't working. I mean, getting drunk every night alone with my wife upstairs by herself, and then not owning up to any of my responsibilities except for just getting by the skin of my, what's the expression? Just barely getting by. That's what I've been doing. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. So anyway, I digress. I just want you guys to know that I'm still here, and now that I'm feeling a little more connection with what I might consider to be my true self, I'm more comfortable chatting with you guys, because like I said, I didn't trust my previous train of thought, but I do trust enough to share with you guys now, and to know that it's coming from a better place. So I'm going to keep you up to date with what's going on with me in terms of trying to take another stab at getting sober. And I have a lot of other thoughts and feelings about what's going on in the world, mental health, what have you. My TRT, a lot of stuff's going on that I'm just like, I'm not sharing shit. I need to clean my side of the street first. I've nothing to give if I can't give something to myself. So all that said, if you're like me and you have a tendency and an overwhelming ability to self-sabotage and get lost in the cycle of addiction, but you keep trying, God bless you, you're not alone. I don't feel alone. I don't feel inherently down and ashamed. I just feel like, like I've taken a deep breath, like there's a lot of work to do, but I'm grateful. I'm in a good space today. I want to just keep trying, and I hope you keep trying, and I hope we can go through this process together. And if my I send so much love and appreciation to you guys and to everyone who continues to support me regardless, right? Regardless. I have so many people. I'm so lucky that just continue to have my back no matter how many times I find myself in these situations. And I want nothing more than to be someone who has purpose, who has meaning, who doesn't constantly take and draw energy from others, but is able to more effectively give energy, life, and hope to other people. That's who I see myself being, but that requires that my cup runneth full, and I can't keep doing the things I'm doing if I expect to have a good and meaningful life. There's just no way. I don't have it in me. I'm not. People talk about functional alcoholics, or if you don't like that term, functional drinkers. I'm not a functional drinker. I'm really, really not. I hide behind the fact that I got lucky, slash I worked hard, but in a lot of ways I got lucky to have built a couple online platforms that have supplemented my income and really, really helped to enable me when I'm not in a healthy mental and emotional space. So anyway, it's a lot of words, but I haven't talked to you guys in a long time, and I wanted to touch base. I need you, I want you, I appreciate you. You're needed and wanted here as well. Please communicate with me in the comments below. And I look forward to chatting with you guys more. I really like my IOP, and I'm going to talk a little bit more. I'll talk a bit more about that, in a following video, but I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest and off my heart. So we'll see you guys in the next one. I am definitely sober again, and I'm going to fight and tackle this with all my might, do my best to be honest and share with you honestly how my brain is working and what I'm going through. And I want you here with me. I really, really want you here with me as much and as often as you feel you can, because I need you. You're needed and wanted. So tell me how you're doing in the comments below. Thank you to everyone who has conquered their addiction and continues to inspire me on a daily basis by sharing a bit about that and what your process is. And to all you guys out there who have been basically just spiraling out of control with anxiety and depression and worry and obsession and addiction and drinking and smoking and using whatever has been going on with you in this fucking insane political, social, racial climate, right? Like whatever has been causing you burden and you've been leaning on food or addiction or whatever, just know that you're not alone. You're in good company. Basically everybody I've talked to one way or another has been abusing something to cope with something. And I just happen to have run to the end of my rope with that lifestyle. And so I'm giving you another shot. Wish me luck. I deserve this. I'm worthy of this. So do you. And we'll do the best we can. We'll do the best we can. We'll see you guys in the next video. I appreciate you so much.